All right, how's everybody doing? Looks like we're live. Yeah, there it goes. How are you guys doing tonight? You guys ready for this week? Let me just start off by saying Friday or Saturday this weekend. It was a good weekend, and I'm like, man, I hope the market isn't slow. But I'm like, wait for Sunday night. Let's see what kind of news we get. We didn't get much, but we got our OPEC meeting. Oil prices are soaring. I haven't looked at futures just yet. But what did we say Thursday into Friday, guys? Man, we brought up oil at the $60 level on USO, and I said I was a buyer. Okay, we'll see where that opens up, guys. It doesn't mean nothing from where futures open today throughout the night. It could be a whole different ball game tomorrow morning. We all know that. Anyway, welcome to the Ivy League live stream. Thank you for joining us. If you have any tickers, post them in the chat. You have any questions, post them in the chat. Ideas. I have quite a few ideas here tonight that we're going to get into. So what's my goal here? My goal here is to help other people be able to come up with ideas, manage risk first. That's what we do here. We manage risk first, catch upside or downside second. All right, we take our trades, we catch a few winners, and then what do we say? We earn the right to take risk. All right, so the market's breaking out. First, if you could, like, share, and subscribe, guys. It'd be greatly appreciated. What an ending. This is the second week. Take note. Second week that we have just taken off from a Thursday, Friday, and then it went. See if it drags into tomorrow. What was it? Last 2 weeks ago, we had AI just rip and run from Thursday and Friday. We were on those. We were on AI. And then Monday, we were looking for it on Monday, the continuation. All right, what happened Friday? You guys know. If you're in the markets, you know. We ripped and rallied. Okay, there's nothing holding this market back. I'm going to get into that, but I just want to see starting things off with what does tomorrow bring? Okay, I'm kind of nervous if it was going to be a not so, exciting week because of we still have a week before we get it to our Fed meeting and CPI inflation data, but we do have some data I think on Tuesday, which I'll bring up. Let me touch on what I was getting at. So we'll do that. So I want to get on this market rallying and people talking about valuations, talking about PEs. Listen. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what the market wants to do. You just got to read the chart and go with it. Put the PE shit aside. Seriously, I'm so tired of hearing about it. These market makers and buyers of funds and institutions, banks, they want to buy it at a premium, then let them do so. That doesn't mean you have to be a buyer here. This market could just rip without you. And you're still going to be talking about the PE, the fundamentals, this, that. Well, you had a great opportunity to get the NASDAQ the past 6-7 months. The NASDAQ was at all-time lows. And, I mean, there were stocks in there that were so dirt cheap to valuations. I mean, Meta is still, in a sense, cheap. I think it's like 14 to 16 times earnings, I think, or times sales. One of the two. So pretty sure the PE on that is around 14 to 16. So it's Meta is one that's sitting at all, not all-time highs, but it's making new highs in this year. And you could have picked that up at just crazy valuations. But no, let's not touch it because it's down in the dumps and they liquidated it. This is the old buy low sell high thing. You got to get in when there's blood in the street, guys. Look at Meta. Look at the opportunity. You could have grabbed this thing at $80, and now you're up almost $300. You're up 2-3 times on your money in a year, or in about 8 months. 8 months. It takes fund managers probably 4 or 5 years to do shit like that. But you had a great opportunity there, and I remember seeing on comments, I'm buying Meta here, this and that, and the stuff, the crap that they got for saying that they were going to buy a big tech. One of our big tech companies that were still cash flow positive. Like, there was no reason not to buy it other than the fact that they were spending a lot of money. But guess what? Look at this stock now. Where are those people at that talked all that shit on people buying the stock when it sold off way down here. It was just at valuations that, like, you would have made it seem like Meta wasn't a company no more, the way people were talking. So we're gonna get into my list. We got a good list, guys. We got some news. We had an OPEC meeting. Looks like they're going to be cutting 1 million barrels in July. Okay, just in time to have that kind of news and kind of run right again at that $60 a barrel level that we talked about all last week. Talked about it all last week. Okay. All right. So if you guys have any questions or comments, again, hit them, throw them in the chat. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Be greatly appreciated. Let's dig on in. All right. First thing I want to talk about, man, is the market. Let's talk about the market. Let's talk about the SPY, the IWM, the Dow, the market as in the market as a whole. I'll bring up the SPY for right now. We're going to go through some levels. All right. Matter of fact, we're going to go see what futures are doing because I'm very curious. I still haven't looked at futures yet. Still haven't looked at them yet because it's just been an eventful evening. Not in a bad way, but so this is a 15-minute chart of futures. Okay, this is ES, and we're just hanging up here where we closed, and it looks like it's trying to turn the close into resistance. Now, I would expect a pullback. I really would. I mean, in a perfect world, I would love a pullback right to this double top, guys. You already had the break in the retest, so you know what's next. You know, is it your 42.7 level? You know, we'll see. So what kind of news you guys have to watch, because there's always headline risk in an environment like this. All right, always headline risk. So let's talk about why we should be buying the dips until proven otherwise, until the market tells us otherwise. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean buying the dip every single day. You need to know the volume. You need to know the setup. You need to know what the hell you're doing. First off, I'm not just sitting here telling you what to do with your money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't do things like that. But don't fight the trend or you might get burned. So if I had this written down, so these rate hikes that we've had, all right, so we are about a year into them and maybe halfway through. Like, how much is the market pricing in is what I'm wondering. How much is the market pricing in? Is it pricing in 3.5%, 4%? I mean, it's obviously trying to price in the 5%, but how much of what I'm getting at is how much interest rate hikes have these companies felt? How much have they felt? I mean, we truly don't know. All right. So this is going to lead into earnings. Okay. Estimates were brought down if you didn't know. Earnings were still not bad. In fact, they beat. Okay. They still beat. So the companies that are managed great the past year, 2 years, what did they do? They brought down guidance. Some didn't. Some never did. Okay. But the managers who know take opportunity of things of that nature, and then they go and they say, we're going to guide down. Our outlook is iffy. We're not sure what the future is going to bring. So, I mean, you can get into the whole accountant side with back orders and this and that. Like, this is what we have, blah, blah, blah. You guys should always... People talk about earnings calls like they don't listen, this and that. Okay, that's fine. But... honestly, if you go and just start listening to some earnings call, you might learn a lot about not only something you didn't know, but you're probably going to learn a lot about the stock that it is you're looking at. And I would highly suggest, especially in an environment like this, to go through some earnings calls. All right, TTD, the Trade Desk, Netflix. This is all advertisement stuff. AI. Like TTD, I've been on that earnings call a while ago, and they were doing some great things. All right, and let's pull it up. Now, this is a 15-minute chart. Let's go to the daily. So this thing pretty much put in the triple bottom, and it's just been on its way. And this was the earnings call right there. Look at that. That was one of the earnings call after we listened to it. This was the earnings call we listened to. And then what happened next? Okay. You could have gotten Meta on the downside if you knew how to listen and read the actual earnings call itself too, because that's a whole nother game. It's taking the information in and know how to interpret it. All right. There's one individual I do know who I could only hope, and who I inspired to be as good as, called this, guys. He called it, okay. This Meta, he was on Meta back here when Mark Zuckerberg was talking about a whole new company called Meta. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. So in this game, if you're not growing, if you're not a growth stock, you're a value stock. Okay. So if you're a growth stock and you continue to have a quarter after quarter, maybe 2-3 quarters, the street is going to say you're not growing, you're not a growth stock, and they're going to punish you for that. Okay. So what happened here was, I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was right around in this area, and said, our original business isn't working. We're doing something different. We got to do something different. So they wanted to do a whole nother company. Now that's a problem, guys. So you can use this for future references. Okay. You can use this for future earnings calls, or something that happens in the market where a company's original product, service, whatever it may be, doesn't work. Okay. And they start drifting onto, you start sensing that they're drifting onto something else. You can catch one of these bad boys. Now this is one of the top 10, top 20 companies in the world. Okay. So this was a pretty big deal, but what a great call. I mean, and I'm telling you guys, he called it here. He said, I would wait till the next earnings call. He said, next earnings call, I would watch out. There's something wrong with Facebook. Back when Facebook was Facebook and not Meta. There's something wrong with it. I don't remember when they made the change, but he mentioned that all Mark Zuckerberg wanted to do was talk about Meta and didn't want to talk about Facebook, didn't want to talk about ad revenue, didn't want to talk about this, just was trying to steer the new thing, the new shiny object that is Meta. So, but it's regained. What happens here is this thing gets so sold off. It's like, well, we kind of got to go back to, I guess fundamentals do matter, but in a sense, to where it gets so sold off like this, it's like, well, they're still like, I'm just putting out a number. There's still a 60 billion, 100, like 2, 3, 400 billion market cap. Like, they're still got some heavy cash flow. They still have big money on the table that they're still recurring from this company that they're trying to shift, not necessarily shift away from, but create something new. So I just wanted to bring that out. So we have, I seen on Bloomberg that we have the OPEC story, we have biotechs, and again, I'm getting into the stocks, stock list. Go ahead, post your tickers in the chat if you could. Like, share, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated if we've earned it. So there's a few things going on here. We have OPEC. We said that with the 1 million barrel cuts starting in July. And then I also seen this 300-mile natural gas pipeline was part of the legislation to stave off Treasury default shocked. Just about everybody. I didn't know why I read that. So there was news about a cancer drug that I have to do some more work on that. So what I'm getting at is I've already been watching Pacific Biosciences. Okay, I've been watching them already. I just want to see if it's on here. And it's like they just took it off. It's so far, it's not like making headlines anymore. There was brain cancer news from a drug treatment. Maybe it could. They don't have that up. Binance regulatory woes pave a path for a CEO. Wonder what. Yeah. So there was also news about EEM debt, which is probably not necessarily related to the stock, but we can pull it up. And there was a big gap up. Look at with volume. So keep that on your list, guys. This is the daily chart. Look at this EEM. Look at that volume. You haven't had volume like that. I mean, you could go back to what's that? March. Yeah, March. So that's them buying the dip here, which I'm looking at right here. But ultimately, you really haven't had anything until back here. That was last year in December. December, November. So what it looks like, it looks like it's putting in a base here on EEM. All right. I would just watch and keep an eye on that. This is going to be directly affected by rates. So if you want to pull up the 10-year, 2-year, just keep an eye on rates because it will affect EEM. You know, unless you get some type of news. Looks like you have a head and shoulders here, but it didn't break down out of the neckline. There, see, it doesn't have. It's not structured that well. But I would say this 38 to 36 level would be your neckline. But that's not a chart pattern you want to go after. Unless, I mean, you could do this. You could do something like that, but it's not like whose neck is below their shoulders, or yeah, you see what I mean? It doesn't add up. It's not a decent chart pattern. But what it is doing is putting in a base. It is putting in a base here. All right. So that's something to keep your eye on and look at it breaking out. Got pinned, had to make a decision. Decided to go up with, decided to break to the upside with volume. All right, and now you are, looks like, above the 100-day moving average too, which is pretty significant. And it broke and held it. It broke above it and held it. So I would keep EEM on the list. All right, guys, so let's get into it. We got the SPY. I'm going to go through the levels. Okay. I don't know why Thinkorswim does that. If you guys could, if you guys have any answers to that, let me know why my screen does that. It goes crazy at times. So we had like I said, for Thursday into Friday. Okay, you got to take notice on these things because you're going to use them for the future. So I noticed Thursdays throughout January to May. Now, it didn't happen every single Thursday, but literally just about every Thursday. If you go back, go look at the bars. Okay, every Thursday was always just a continuation trend day, whether it was to the downside or to the upside. Thursday they were putting their positions on, getting in, and not coming in the next day, I guess, or something. They were doing it before Friday. Now it seems like Friday, things have shifted a little bit. Friday is last week, the week prior. So we'll see what this week brings with. Keep your eye on Thursday, but let's see what happens Friday. Thursday and Friday towards the end of the week. I don't think we have very much data this week, which is why I was kind of worried. We do have balance of trade, and that's on Wednesday. And I'm going to get into the charts. ISM manufacturing Monday. So we got some inflation numbers. We can see if you don't know, anything above 50 is expansion and anything below 50 is contraction. So you can see here we're slowly dwindling down while they're expecting more. Now you can go back, look at GDP for the first quarter, second quarter, things like that. Fourth quarter last year, and watch GDP and compare it to the data that comes out. But again, all this data schmata is past, is looking backwards. The market is forward looking again. But the past data that's already been is showing us a contraction, like a contraction that's actually pretty slow. It is contracting. If you guys go back and look through new home sales, new car sales, spending, manufacturing, all that stuff, you'll start to see, if you go back, the numbers are just slowly coming in. Now, is that seasonally? Do the numbers pick back up in the summer? We don't know. But there is Treasury news, which could dry up liquidity. You know, we need, my outlook is, I think, now I came on yesterday and Friday and I gave you guys an idea. What was that idea? That idea was, we have raised rates, okay, and whenever the Fed has peaked and went on a pause, you usually had about an 8 month to 14, 15-month lag before the unemployment data really ticked up. So if we're pausing in January, February, March, June, call it, then that would mean we would start to see it. We should start to see unemployment. Now, unemployment's ultimately very low right now. So it could still start to tick up and maybe base, going into the fall, but we want to look for that to probably start next year, first quarter, second quarter of next year, is if nothing goes wrong with the banks and there's no other situation that happens that causes them to start cutting rates. And I think because of the data we brought up, they even were cutting rates, but it was still a lag. There was still that year lag on average. So keep that in mind. Again, don't worry about fundamentals, okay? Unless you want to be a buyer, unless you're a buyer for long term, or you want to buy because you think that's the environment that we in, so you put yourself in there. Like oil, we were long oil 2020, 2021 because we knew 2022 was going to be the year, just like 2022 we positioned for gold. Okay, we bought gold, and where's gold at now? It was up past 2000. So that's, you guys got to weigh those things out. Kind of think forward looking and think what environment is going to come. What's to come? Now, I don't offhand now, I can't really think of too much because back then we had a presidential switch. Then we had the dollar just at crazy high, not crazy high levels, but the dollar was raised, and that was keeping metals down because they were not able to rally because of the strength in the dollar. But now that the dollar comes down, you started to see gold go to new highs. There's that push and pull. One thing does one thing, and then the other does something else, which makes sense because if it costs more dollars, if it takes more dollars when your dollar's low, I mean technically it should be that way. It's not, because if the dollar was high, it should take less dollars to buy the same item, and when the dollar's down, it should take more dollars to buy the same item. But the inflationary environment we're in with a strong dollar, I mean, I don't know. So all we can do is read and react. So let's go through it. All right. The weekly chart, we held the 100 weekly moving average, which is huge. Guys, the psychological 420 level is huge. It's huge. Okay. I'm going to see how long, because I got to work on this. It's been 23 minutes. Okay. So we broke above the 23.6 fib. We've talked about that, but we have tailed this 9 EMA on the weekly and daily. And it just, guys, we just took off, okay? And what happened last week was the small caps, also the Dow, also rallied, okay? So, and you had the NASDAQ pull back a little bit, okay? You've had the NASDAQ pull back. Now, in a healthy market, we should continue to see all these indices start to move up together. Now, the NASDAQ took a breather, which it should. Maybe you get, this period of consolidation, and they start to catch up and get this gap, that's in between the small caps and NASDAQ 100. You kind of close that gap a little bit because they were separated like I don't know what. And I was on here every day saying, guys, you have to watch the gap. You have to watch the spread between the IWM and NASDAQ 100. Okay. So again, we're going to wait, and here's the thing. Right as of right now, you don't have any banks coming out saying that there's issues. You had the debt ceiling pass. You had good earnings. So what do we do until next quarter? What do we do till next earnings? I think we kind of we rally it up. And I think this rally's just started, guys. You just broke 420. We just broke 420. So where's our next level? Where are we headed? Okay. Where are we headed? That's the question. Well, I don't know where we're headed. Anything can happen. We could wake up tomorrow and something happen. So let's just read and react. So here's the level that I have, which is around 4, which is psychological 430 number, which is 430. This is a brick wall. I don't think we get through it first try, especially on lower volume. Okay, so we want to look for a pullback. All right, I'm going to want to look for a pullback. Now, what could happen? This is also an option. Now, keep it on your mind. and pay attention to volume pre-market during the day. Now look at this, you've had these little tails of selling. Okay, you need to watch you don't know who's not positioned for this. Okay, so fund managers. Okay, let's talk fund managers. Fund managers can't go back to their clients and say, I missed it. They're going to ask them, why are you not in, like the overall market is up X amount year to date, and you're down, or not necessarily down, but you've only made half of those gains. Let's just say the SPY's up 10, 15%, and let's just say 10%, and the fund manager goes to him and is only up 6. We'll say 6. And they're going to say, whoa, like, how did you not get this rally? Okay, it's been 2020 since we've hit 400. It's now 2023. Even I, as a not fund manager investor or does this for a living, even I know usually the bear markets last for 16 months, 2 years. So they're going to need to put money to work if they already haven't. And I think that's what you got. But the volume just wasn't, it wasn't bad, but it like, those days where that volume just comes in and it comes in heavy. All right. Maybe they're waiting for a pullback. So if you get a pullback here, I would like to see this double top here, guys, at 42.22. 422. Okay, 422. I want to see us pull back down there. Now we've already broke it and retested it, but I just don't think we get through this psychological 430 number without a pullback. Not even that without a pullback. I don't think we get it without a catalyst and go through our first try without a catalyst is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so keep that on watch. Keep this area on watch. Again, you have this double top here. That's at 422 or 423, call it. Okay. If we do break this level, you have some minor support here. This is kind of like where your base is, but I'm gonna have to go to a different chart to bring it up around 418. There is some resistance or some minor support here at 418. But let's go to some heavy. I would just want to point out, the heavy levels that we need to look for. So if we do break this 423, I want you guys to look for the prior level, at 417.50 to 418. But I think if you break 420, if 420 is your psychological level, that 420 level is big. So this is your level. So let me go back. Again, you have your double top here at 423. You break that, you want to watch 420 to hold. Okay, if 420 doesn't hold, then we're in trouble. Then I think something's wrong. Then you got your 418 is your next level. 418 is the next level there. So watch that. Okay, you want to have, I usually have three major levels, S1, S2, S3 for support 1, support 2, support 3, and then R1, R2, R3 for resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. All right. Let's go to the Qs, the NASDAQ 100. All right. You know what? And I also, let me bring up the equally weighted S&Ps, because that's important. I think that's important. That's all right. I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm running quick on time. So you also somewhat have a double top here on the Qs. It's going to look a little different because the Qs, the Qs are the leader right now, but they ended the laggard on Friday. So, I'm going to be watching. I'm probably not going to be watching the overall index. I mean, I'm going to be watching them. You have to watch the overall indexes, but I would just be mindful that I think the areas that may be best, because if this market's going to catch up, you're going to want to be in places like the IWM, places that have room to run, especially if they're going to catch up. Because if the SPY and Qs still stay up here and they just put in a base, and put in a range, you want to be where the momentum's going to be. All right. So I went through earnings. I didn't see very much. You have GameStop on Wednesday. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, but you really don't have much. Okay. I think DocuSign maybe also. I'm not sure. There wasn't really too much on there at all. So earnings are practically done. Again, I'm actually surprised that see here's what I'm noticing right now. Okay, look at this. See, there's a small candle there, but like we gapped. Like this is the brick wall of the Nasdaq right here. This was your level. All right, it's right around. I'm gonna call it 341. Okay, 340, 341, and you just gapped. Like let's look at this gap. You know, it just you had your pullback and you tested you tested the low, but look at that gap. You kind of just gapped up to it. You have no you have no moving averages roughly around there, and I'm gonna get into stocks, guys, in a minute. So this rally has, you could say, kind of just started. It hasn't. And what I mean by that is there's still room to go, especially if people are caught off sides. You need to remember that. If there are fund managers that are caught off sides, the 420's broke. So if we get a pullback, you want to look to be long. All right. Now, I haven't went necessarily over these too much, but the IWM. All right, this is where I'm going to put my focus, is in the Dow, IWM, and I want to see if these stocks are going to give us a continuation, or if they're rallying up into support. I have a few already, so I'd like a pullback to this gap on the IWM at 181. Okay, this is my target right here, 186. It could take 2 weeks to get there. We may never get there. We could wake up tomorrow and something happens. Something could happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. All right, but as of right now, this is my level. I'm going to look for a pullback into this level right in here. 480, 481. Okay. So what that does is that tells me you've broke this gap. Okay. Which in a sense was, this is, I'm pretty sure this is your banking crisis here. Yes. This is when all the banking stuff happen. So if you guys want to watch, if we come back and we reclaim that banking crisis, watch out, because if you're short, you're going to get your ass handed to you. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, if you recover the banking issue that we had, you're going to want to watch. I would hope that you're not short. Look at this, guys. Look at this in volume. These are the things you need to look for. Look at the RSI. Okay, this is, if you join us, we're live Monday through Friday. Okay, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Look, what do you see here? I'm going to show you. This is what you need to look for to tell yourself, or to help show you the right side of the trade you should be on. Okay, look at this RSI, oversold. Okay, you went in, it's right here. You put in new lows. You put in new lows on a rising RSI. That's relative strength. That's bullish divergence. Okay, you rallied, curled back down, and what'd you do? You put in higher lows on the RSI. But this is what told you. When you put in new lows and the RSI is just putting in higher lows. All right, and then here we are. It put in its base, and I can see the pennant already just right now. I can see the pennant that it put in. It broke out, retested the pennant, put in a double top or double bottom, and it took off. It took off. So, and again, like we've seen this. Okay, these are the things we talk about at Ivy League Trading, YouTube.com, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4. We've seen Tuesday. We've seen red Tuesday. We've seen the shift on Wednesday from red to green, and then Thursday and Friday. Okay, you could have positioned yourself long with us. All right. So I'm going to go over the Dow real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time with these. We're going to get into the tickers. Again, if you guys have any tickers, post them in the chat, please. I'm grabbing my list. All right, I'm back. Why is my thing like that? Let's see here. Let me fix this real quick. I do apologize. I had it on full screen and didn't know it, so I hope that didn't mess anything up. All right. We are going to put this down here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Let me say, what's up, Ray? How are you? All right, so I hope you guys had a great weekend and are ready for this. Let's get down to it. So what do we got? We have oil. We have biotechs. Uranium. Uranium's making a comeback. Okay, we're going to look at that. You had some MSOS news. You had some legalization, and then you had some news with like Indiana, and there was a few different ones. So now you got to remember with MSOS and those stocks that the news is going to be sold. Okay, you're going to want to get into it, and then as the news comes out, they're going to sell into that news. I feel so bad for anybody that's been in this and then was told to buy the dip. I think we all know who we're talking about. He told y'all to buy the dip here. Holy cow, I feel so bad. But he'll come back and say, yeah, I said I'm not in them. I said I'm not in them. I mean, come on, bro. They're risky. Everything they're still illegal. You know, they're federally legal. So, federally illegal. I know it didn't sound like I said that, but. So, anyway, it is basing. I will say that the MSOs are putting in a base. All right. Now, I don't know consumption-wise what's going on there with the different states being legal. If more or lesser people are smoking, maybe this was an industry that was better off 4 or 5 years ago, and they should have made it legal. It should have been legal a long time ago, but that's just my opinion. Ugly pattern there, but maybe this thing gets a bounce. Hard to say. You'll just have to watch the news. Now listen, until it's, until the government does their job and does something with it, you're not missing anything. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And even when that news comes out, don't be afraid to buy when there's a huge rally, okay? If there's a huge rally. I mean, I don't know how many institutions want it, but I'm sure there's a lot out there that will take it, okay? Especially at these prices. A lot of them are not allowed to buy it because it's federally illegal. So, now they can buy the Canadian ones, but they're garbage. Don't nobody want them. I don't know what the politics are doing. I don't know. I don't understand why this is not being taken care of. It's crazy. All right, so real quick, let's go into TLT. The 10-year rose, and then what did stock do? What did stocks do? They rose also. They said, we are not worried about you rates. We are not worried about you at all. This looks actually, am I getting my pullback here? So we called out TLT last week. Now this was just going to be a trade. We were not looking to get, this was our target, up to this base, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, we got it, guys. You guys got to come join us Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Since I've started this channel, we've had a really great week. We're making money over here, guys. I mean, TLT, Alibaba, AI trade, SPY. We have been just nailing this market, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful we've been able to come on here, do a great job, provide positions that have liquidity and have follow through a movement. That's what we're here to look for. All right, I got to do maybe a better job at getting some people on here and promoting the company more. But, there's no reason why somebody should have to pay an extremely amount of money to just be in a group to trade that actually trades professionally every day. Okay. So TLT's pulling back here. So as I was looking, it looked like it was wanting to hold this level here, but I don't know. We'll have to watch the 10-year. We're going to have to watch the 10-year. So these are also hedges you guys can go through. All right. These are hedges. So what am I looking for? Now, you see how TLT sold off while the market, did the complete opposite? So usually you're going to get that. TLT and banks also. They also play hand in hand, all right? As banks go up, TLT will usually go down, okay? Because that's a rise in rates. And as rates come down, the price of the ticket the ticket price goes up. All right. So, but we are looking. We were bullish back here, guys. All right. I didn't play it because of obviously AI. There was a nice double bottom here. Bullish divergence, you know. The tools, you need to know how to use them. You need to know how to read them. And you can be, you can be successful at this stuff, all right? You don't have to be the ones that end up getting in the market and then trying to make a video about how you can't do anything in the market because you didn't get educated and weren't taught how to truly do this the right way. All right. So TLT, I'm just going to have that in the 10-year. I'm going to be watching yields this week. I'm going to be watching the dollar. All right. I'm going to be watching the dollar. I'm actually curious to see what the dollar's doing now. What happened? And let's go to, so let's see, so my list, guys. I'm going to go through this list right now. All right, let's see BTC USD. First off, Bitcoin getting hammered, it looks like. Not necessarily hammered, but still sitting in that base. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you right now, if Bitcoin doesn't hold this, watch out. Now, it broke it, put in a double bottom. I don't have the MACD or VWAP or any tools in this thing right now, but hang on to your lug nuts if it does decide to break down. And then I would look for the NASDAQ 100 and the rest of the market too. But look at these tails. So let's go to the daily or even a 4-hour chart even. Okay. So it's in a downtrend. Now, the first of the year, what were we doing? Or at least what was I doing? I didn't have this channel started, but Bitcoin was the leader, guys. We were just taking trades off of Bitcoin. It was the leader. You see this? Go look at the SPY. Well, it's already sold off. March, April, May. What I'm saying is these, yeah, this right here was the range from the SPY, but it started from the first of the year, guys, where this base was. And then if you go back and you look at this and then go look at the SPY or the Qs or just look at the market, like Bitcoin was a day ahead. This is another tool, guys. This is another tool. So it's switched up. Now, does this have to do with the dollar? Because the dollar was also really matched up with the SPY. So you got to find that next thing and you'll start to see it. All right, I want to stay on track. We had gold down and everything. I just want to see how Bitcoin was doing. I want to see the dollar. Because those are what you got to start your day. You got to find out where the rates are. You got to find out where the dollar is. Those are the two things you need to know going into the day. Yeah, and I look, so this was my thoughts. I had someone ask me what I thought about the dollar, and I said, if rates are going to stay where they're at right now, and there's no, going higher and there's no going lower, I could just see the dollar sitting here from 105 to 102. I think this is a good area, 102, 103, right in this area is where I'd expect to see it. Now, longer term movement like this, you're going to have a COVID type catalyst to have runs like this, or spending a government or something. So I think you're in the trailing period. Maybe you're just putting in higher highs and then or lower highs, and you're just going to stay flat until the next thing happens. Okay, but that's what I would do. Like now, UVXY. Maybe I'm going to look at UVXY and get a put position on that. I don't see the dollar breaking out higher. I just don't. Like, they're going to have to say that, I think we're going to have to start doing another 50 basis point rate hikes, this and that. Like, it's going to take a lot to get this dollar to get back to these levels. All right. So what do we have on the list, guys? So I want to talk about uranium. Let's bring up CCJ real quick, guys. Keep CCJ on your list. All right, CCJ. Oh, sorry. CCJ. Oh, shit. Look at that breakout, guys. Thursday and Friday. Look, or Wednesday and Thursday. Look at that. That's crazy. That's so crazy. So they've talked about uranium a lot. Now, when I went back to the daily chart, it was like I was looking at this and I was like, man, it just doesn't want to like just have like a gold type of run, like where it just has like this extension. But maybe we could be close to it. Okay, maybe we could be close to it. I've been seeing a couple of things. Like there's been talk. If you know where to like go, and you'll kind of sense like, so the market is like, I look at it like as a market, like a farmer's market. You have all these little different sections and stands that you can go to get different things. Where's the crowd at, and what's going on at that stand? It's how you got to think about the market, along with the main idea of where's the institutional ownership, where the big boys at, what are they buying? Okay, you want to stay with them. They'll give you the deals. But look at this chart, guys. Look at this pennant. Boom. It's an ascending wedge, a breakout. So you want to see if we come back and test these levels here and see if we hold. I'm going to look for the 2850 area, and that might not be till about, that's the end of June. It could take a little bit. I would say in July, possibly, if it does. So keep your eye on CCJ, your uranium names. All right, this was a huge breakout, double top on the 15-minute. So first off, there's your. Now I didn't look at the RSI or anything like that, but there's your. So we already know that. So we're gonna look to see if you get a bounce back into that and you can't break up above it. There's the short idea. Now I don't know how the liquidity is in CCJ. You got to watch out for that. Also, you want to keep that stuff in mind. If you're new at this, guys, again, if anything sounds new or you're not understanding anything I'm saying, just come join us. We can teach you all that good stuff. We can teach you all that good stuff. What was I going to do? Edit the property for number 2, and I should put it red, but I'm not going to because I know it's my level. All right, so CCJ. We talked about TLT, MSO, so let's go to oil. So we want to look at things like rig. All right, there was Exxon news. I want to look at rig. Look at rig. Thursday, Friday. This stock, look, 5 to 7. Do you guys know the percentage on that? I mean, just one day, just Friday, it was up almost 7.5%. That's some good money there, especially you get some options on there. You can make your whole month, if not your whole quarter, just on a trade like this, guys. And I mean, this looks, it's a nice chart. It built in a base, pulled back, shook people out, and then boom, only to rally. Those shakeouts. If you've been in the markets, especially if you like buy, if you also like buy long term and stuff, you'll notice like price action. You'll know, but right before a run, you'll see it sell off. It'll shake people out, and then it just runs. It shakes out weak hands is what it does. So those are things you got to partake. Like when I was when I bought Moderna was the only COVID stock I had. Dude, the shakeouts in Moderna, net, I owned net at like $28, $30 was my average. And man, it just didn't, for so long, it didn't want to get above that, like get into the 40s and hold. And then I remember it broke out to the 40s and 50s, and then it just had this pullback into the 30s, and then it just ripped, guys. So that's like if you buy a stock and watch price action, maybe you'll see that. If you buy the right stock or if you're in it at the right time or something, you'll see this where it just stays, like this stock, it just stays here for a while and then starts to sell off and then just has this rally. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see where that goes. So I got rig on my watch list. Let's go to the daily. We got to know where your moving averages are. So we've broken above the 100 daily moving average. All right. So what are we going to look for? What do we look for in rig? You want to see if we get a pullback and hold that area right there. So we're going to want to pull back to 640. Okay, if we can pull back to 640 and hold 650, call it. That's like level. Now let's look at our RSI. Let's look at our MACD. We want to see bullish divergence. All right. Now we were early on this oil play, guys. We were calling out USO because I've already played it off of 60 and then I sold. It came back down. It was getting into the 60 level, and I'm like, I'm paying attention to oil stocks and oil. You know, you can play it however you want. All right, you just want to make sure you're in the right names that are going to give you movement, and then because the E&Ps have so many different ones. You know, is it a driller? Is it a pipeline? Is it like a company like Exxon? So you just want to make sure, do your research and put yourself in the right position. So here we go, massive sell-off. All right, you had a bull flag there, broke out of it. So look at our RSI. See how it's way down here in this 30 mark. We rallied, pulled back again, and it put in a higher RSI. So that's relative strength. I mean, and on the MACD. So right now on this breakout, the MACD on the daily has just turned positive, it looks like. The MACD has just turned positive. So we'll see if we get this pullback. All right, you want to look for maybe $1, $1.50, $2. You know, maybe you see 8. Only time will tell. I will be in this trade. I'm going to do some more work. But I would be watching the, I'm going to put these levels up real quick. Let me just look at the weekly chart. Oh, look at that. See how, doesn't it look better if you look back out? Like, you see this pennant that it put in? Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys. Like, no, I don't want that. That's not what I was wanting. So this is a nice play here. Look at that. Boom. All right, look at that. Look at that breakout. That's beautiful. It doesn't get no better than that. Now the volume is iffy. You know, you want this type of, on a breakout, you want to see this volume go. So maybe tomorrow and into Tuesday, we'll see what happens. There was news about a pipeline here on Bloomberg. Maybe I don't have it up anymore. So Saudi Arabia goes. Saudi Aramco. OPEC was negative yielding. Debt bounces back to almost $2 trillion. Bank of Japan. Yeah, we got to keep Bank of Japan on. We have to watch Japan. We have to watch the yen. You got to keep that on watch, guys. Because anything that US dollar JPY, there it is. All right, let's go to the daily. So keep this on watch. Okay, you got to keep this on watch. So I will give an instance. Yeah, so on gold, we were watching gold and noticed that gold was breaking out in other currencies and was making new highs before it did in United States dollar, before it did in USD. That's another tool. Like, you guys gotta, if you come join us Monday through Friday and you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe button, there's still so much information that we have that we can give out and, help you, I don't know, have a new stake, a new car, and still, get it for free. I don't know. It takes a lot of work, though. This stuff's not easy. Stuff is not easy, and the market may not be for you. The market may not be for you. But if you give anything the enough time and patience and work hard, you get out what you put in. So again, I'm looking at rig here with these stocks. I want to see if we can test these highs. I at least want to see if we can test these highs here at 750, 760, whatever it is. All right, so daily. Let's go. Look at this double bottom here, y'all. Look at that. Look at that bullish divergence. Boom, MACD new low. Hit a new low, and it's rising. You put in a double bottom with a new low on rig, and look at it. It's way up here. It's turning positive on a new low. This is a bot. This type of stock here, that kind of run right there. I'm going to tell you right now. You want to talk about being emotional? There's people in here that could have taken a few $1,000s, and I'm sure probably paid off their house on a move like this, guys. I'm dead serious. 65 cents a dollar to 750-ish. I mean, that's 700%. Just the stock alone. Say call it 600%. Even then, on the stock alone, think about if you were in options on that. Think about if you had, I don't know, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 in calls and had it for about 2 years out or a year out. Sitting pretty good. All right, so there you go. You had a double bottom here, bullish divergence, MACD, put in a new low, higher low, double bottom, and it's on. So it just put on this pennant. And you see on the daily, see how it broke out. Looks like it broke out. Okay, let's do this the right way. It should be. See, it looks different on the daily than it does. But you can see how it broke out of the pennant, pulled back to retest it, and held it. So rig is going to be on my watch. I want to see. I'm hoping. Not hoping because I don't hope, but I want to see if this thing can give us more volume. Okay, I want to see if this thing can give us some the volume that it needs to get going. Now, it looks like it wants to be there. Like, that would be perfect, but these candles are way outside. I don't like that. So, it may be another extension where it might need some more room, But for now, I do know I have a trend right there. How do I know that? Look, it breaks out. It rides it. See the tails coming off of the downtrend? All right. So, those are things that can help you. Like, they're buying off of this downtrend to run this thing higher. All right. What's the next one? Let's go to Google. We're going to get into like some AI stocks. I've been looking to get short Google. It's just sitting here. It just can't break higher. So what's going to happen with this is if it doesn't break higher sometime soon, it's going to get knocked. It's putting in a flag here also, okay? Maybe, you got a flat top resistance up here. So let's go to, we'll bring up the 4 hour. I got to clean these charts up again. I did start to clean the SPY up, and I'm going to be sad if I just cleaned them up. And we get some news that hits the tape, and then I got to go back and find all the levels that I had. Look at this volume here, guys. See that? Look at that. That's a lot of volume, and it still didn't break the level. So we're going to see what brings this week. All right. There's levels that I see that I'm watching, like Home Depot, Ford, Adobe. There's a lot, and we'll make sure we go over them, between tonight and tomorrow. So I'm looking at Google. I want to see Google break this level, guys. I want to see if Google's going to come to the downside. If we start getting a pullback on AMD, Nvidia, I'm not looking for necessarily the short on AMD. It's like, if anything, I want to see if the level, and I'm going to bring it up, I want to see if that level holds on AMD, because if it just continues to hold, people that are short are going to have to start covering, or they're going to start getting emotional. They're going to feel the heat, and you may get like what happened with Meta, how it curled down and then just went. So give it some time. So Google, these are my levels. All right, this is my level here, guys. This is a major area of resistance right here, especially on the 15-minute chart. It's at your 126 level. All right, 126. I don't know why this looks so different, because yeah, it's what I thought. It's putting in higher lows or lower highs, it looks like. There's a nice flag there with a breakdown. Couldn't hold. Did get bought up. So, like we mentioned before, this pre-market. Do you notice what I'm seeing? And I brought this up with Google before. Pre-market, guys. See pre-market, how it rallied, and you got like off the bell. They left you like a little bit, but like it started off the bell, off of that level. Pre-market. See here, pre-market, it sells off. Pre-market sells off. Pre-market, all pre-market sells off. Okay. So we know we have sellers sitting up here. So we'll see where the SPY ends up tomorrow and the Qs. We'll see where they end up when we get up. But if Google's still up in this area, I'll give it a little bit. I'm not just going to start getting puts and stuff. I want to, this is risk management. Risk management also is you getting into your position at the right time in the right place to set yourself up, because that makes your losses smaller. If you start trying to short here, well, this technically the stock could still go back up here, and you're not wrong. It could come back to retest and say, all right, I'm done. I had my last chance to break out. I'm done. And you may get that. 1, 2, and then third time's a charm. Sells off. All right, so that's one. So with that being said, Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft is still just sitting up here at all-time highs. Microsoft's a strong stock, man. I've kind of switched. I use Bing now. I use Bing. I really do. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing the switch. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But especially with ChatGPT and AI, it's their AI stuff is pretty cool, man. So you have all-time highs here. I'm not looking for a play on Microsoft. Okay, like I said, I like RIG. I want to look at like gold and GLD. I want to see what they do tomorrow. We're holding the 100-day. Well, we haven't necessarily got to it just yet, but look at this. You held it, and then 50-day came into play and you sold off. Now, does the 100-day act as support? Do we start getting an increase in selling volume here? Like, are they done with gold? Where is gold in the euro? Where is gold in the Japanese yen, the Aussie? See where the price action is in the other currencies. Now, it could change because, like I said earlier, with the Dixie being it doesn't, there was a direct influence between the dollar and the SPY and Bitcoin and the SPY and stuff like that. You don't have that right now, so you may not have that. November, December, guys, this is where we were buying gold in this base, and I still bought it here because I knew it wasn't done. And we caught all of this. Caught it all. So look at that nice double bottom. Boom, boom, double bottom, shaking out the weak hands only to run again. All right, so I've got GLD on my watch. I'm going to get into USO in a minute, and I have Alibaba, HD. There's a few. Adobe was a ripper. Cat is another one. I don't like Cat's options, though, so I may just play the stock outright. So what does this say here? We have a double top here. That's pre-market, though. I don't like that. But that's your level, 184. Okay. I would put 184 in. And make it a little wider. It's, like with price action and stuff, it's not just one level. It's an area. So you guys have to be cautious of that and just know that just because you have a level, like you can see it here. This is a perfect example. That's like so what is that? 184.43 to 184.20, we'll say. So there's a 20-cent difference there. That 20-cent room that you got to give it. So I'm going to put this here. Right there. That's perfect. Now I'm going to make that red. Now this doesn't mean that the market, we could just have a total flip tomorrow. Sorry for the mouse and stuff. It's so loud. So I fixed the mic and everything. I didn't fix the mic, but I learned. I figured out why and what was going on with the mic and the sound and everything. And this is our bottom. This is the bottom of our range here. You know what? Let me do something real quick, guys. I'm gonna go in and get all this stuff ready for tomorrow. Okay. Take off pre-market. I should bring up the daily chart. I'm just kind of curious if we're just going to sit here and put in a base. Whoa, what happened? Oh, I had the square. That's why. Shit. How do I get, I know I've seen some people do it, but, how do I get to where I can just switch the, and don't have to go, like, all the way down to the tools for Thinkorswim? I don't really like that for some reason. But yeah, the tools, I'd love to know how to switch. I gotta find out how to do it. I thought that I tried finding it in places, and it was just like I had to sit through, like, hours of videos just to find this one thing. Maybe I could always just Google it. That's always another option. But so I'm gonna bring up the 4-hour real quick. I'm just gonna knock this out. There's the level. That's a major level right here at 178, 180. I even had 190 calls back in December. They were so cheap. They were so cheap. I think I took profits in them in March, February, March. Yeah, here. This is where we took them. I took them in March. I was like, I didn't pull back, because I kind of already. This didn't shake me out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but there was no reason to be shook out here if you knew what you were doing. So let me see. Where's the daily? All right, so that is our range. Right there. That's our range. Look at that. Is that an island reversal, guys? Is this an island reversal? Come on. Are you serious? Of course it did that. It doesn't want me to see stuff like that. Of course it did that. I mean, it's not pretty, but you have gap, it's gapping up. So there's your gap right there. Okay. Gaps down, curl it back up, gap up. So is this the test? Do we come back? If we test this area right here, I'm going to give it 177.8. Like, this is just an area, okay? Let's just say 177.50. Or 178, I mean, and 176. So if we pull back and break this level and we get back down to here, see if there's anything else that adds up. Yeah, look at that. Look at the double top from back here, or the double bottom. Dude, this thing is so sensitive. Sorry, I want to make this enjoyable. Yeah, so just watch out for that. We probably put in that could be an island reversal there. All right, let's go to oil. USO. All right, I always kick myself in the ass after looking at the USO chart and this run right here. Was that it? Where the hell is that island reversal at? Where are you at? I know you're on here. I know you're on here. I want to say it was this. Because it was back. No, it was back in October, wasn't it? Right here? I think that was it. Because we put in an island reversal. See this gap down? Came up. If you guys are out, if anyone's out there and you guys know what I'm talking about, comment in the chat. I think it was around October or something, where oil put in a nice island reversal and I missed it. That might have been it. Let me see if I can pull up an hourly chart or something and try and bring that back up, because it was just one of those ones where it was like you wouldn't forget about it. So anyway, USO put in an island reversal and I completely missed it, and it came back, retested it, and there was just this boom 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 run. I think this is it right here. And again, what level are we at? Just the low 60s, guys. And that thing ran to 75. So that's why I say, and even here, we were, where was I buying it? After this one. It was after this one. It was right here, because I didn't have these levels up until like back here in March. All right. It was around this time in April. Because once it dropped back down, I'm like, I am not like missing this. I'm not missing it. So we attacked that long. We attacked this long. Again, Ivy League Trading, YouTube.com. Come join us Monday through Friday. Okay? Join us Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. You can learn stuff like this. If you're at work, go on your phone. Use us as a, as help to inform you on what not only we're doing, but what's going on in the market so you can position yourself, whether you swing trade, day trade, invest, or whatever it is. Okay? We have news that's quicker than Benzinga, that's for damn sure. They're so slow. But Benzinga's great. I like Benzinga, It's really cool what they've done over there. So we had a nice rally in oil. Again, we called this out because we were looking for it in the week. Like when we got down here to 62, I think it was Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Tuesday. I was looking at it like you got to watch to be a buyer at 60. You have to. Because until it shows you that it's going to break and not rally off of it, you got to be long. Just be long, don't think, react. Just do. All right? You had an increase in selling here and you still couldn't break it. So, I have my levels up. We're going to look for this resistance up here at 65. See if we pull back, or you may get it. We're probably going to get a gap up through it, guys. And then hello 67, possibly C70s. Again, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? 69.50. I'm putting that up as my target. Okay, they're going to be cutting in summer. Everybody's going to want to be out on their boats. That's kind of why I've been putting boats and stuff in the whatchamacallits. They're going to want to be out going to concerts. They're going to want to be out doing things. You have construction is really heavy in the summer. Things pick up in the summer. Okay, the velocity of the dollar picks up. Everybody goes out. Look at this double bottom too, guys. Boom. Boom. That's a beautiful chart, guys. I would watch. This thing might break out and go on a run. Okay, this thing could break out and go on a run. That's beautiful. That's not the island reversal I'm talking about right there. That's not it. I'm still stuck on that damn island reversal that I missed because it was just crazy. So keep your eye on that, guys. Again, we just pulled it up on the hourly chart. Wow, that's So keep your eye on it. Where it was a 15-minute, half-hour chart. Keep your eye on this level. You could also play XLE. That's the stocks itself, the SPDRs. So now this didn't. You see the difference? How it made a lower low. Let's go to the daily. I got something going on here. Look at that pennant. So we have a conflict of interest. We have a wedge forming here. It looks like it's trying to break out or down. Trying to break down and out from it to the downside. Look at this was it right here. It wasn't USO. It was XLE. Right there. There it is. Look at that island reversal. Shoot. And then you had a gap up, increase in volume, and rallied. That's the one I missed. I'm pretty sure it was the XLE. That's it. That is it. This is what I was talking about. All right, so let's get going. All right, so I said CCJ, TTD. This is a stock I love TTD. The Trade Desk is an awesome company, guys. There's a few more. They do add space stuff. We looked at the banks. You can also look at different countries, the ETFs for different countries. Okay, so the banks took off of the lows. Put in a double bottom here. I mean, from the close. It wicked, but the close. Put a double bottom in off the close. Look at those tails on the daily. All right, so now we've turned into support. This is our support. So now are the buyers going to continue to step up and think everything's okay? That's what you need to watch for. Here, the sellers are stepping down. Here, the buyers are stepping up. All right, as they should. It's still not bad of, I don't know. I just don't think you'll have like a major catastrophe of a of an event, because the Fed would start to already have brought rates down if like unemployment was going to go crazy or something. So let's pull up Amazon. Amazon just been a runner. That whole sector's just been. It had a great day Friday. I played Amazon Friday. Small win, and then a break-even loss. Just under. It's like a small loss with commissions and stuff. I thought we were going to put in a double bottom, which we did. I just didn't give it enough room. I wasn't going to give it a whole bunch of room because the market was going down, and I had already had a green trade, so I wanted to lock it in. You got to think about those things. And I just seen it. I just seen the price action that, like, because you guys need to know, if you play options, you can play an option and it can go the direction you still not make any money because you bought it wrong. You didn't buy it in the right place. So you want to look for this level right here, 123.50 to become support. This is a really nice chart pattern. It looks, from the looks of it, on the 15-minute. Okay. See if this level can hold. Right here. It's a nice little double bottom. But if this breaks, then watch out, because you might even end up all the way down here at 118. I'm not sure. I don't know who's standing in line to buy this thing. They're not a bad company at all whatsoever. They own practically everything in sight. But looking back, look at this rally. I remember playing it in the 90s. You know what I mean? Not like 1990s, but the price action in the 90s back here and stuff. So Amazon's always a good one to trade. Amazon and Google. So we'll go over a few more. There's not many people on. I gotta find a way to get some people on here where we can go through charts and talk about news and catalysts and stuff. Apple still just to the upside, strong as all hell. So that's what we're gonna watch for tomorrow, is if there's a if the small caps can keep up and the tech pull back in. So we brought up uranium, we brought up TLT, we brought up rates, we brought up the dollar, Bitcoin. I forget what the other one was called. So I was looking up Mara and a couple other ones just for the plays on that, the plays on Bitcoin and stuff. But UUP. What did I say? Puts, y'all? Did I say puts? I think I was looking for puts for the dollar to come down. So the VIX got crushed on Friday. So again, if you're trading, keep your ears out for news at any time. I don't know how many, or if we have any at all, Fed members speaking, but they're 50-50. Maybe they're all like wanting to pause and they just come out just to talk the markets down or something, and there's a reason why they say what they say. But it looks like we may pause. So I want to bring up Tesla. We played Tesla and Baba, and there's a couple of them. We can always go through them again in the morning, but that's a nice hold of the initial high, isn't it? Like, that's a nice swing trade going long right off of that. But in a sense, like with the volume, it's not as much, but it's still pretty heavy towards the end of the day. And that's all it could have been, was just end of the day profit taking. That was a nice hold there, like to a T. So it broke that prior high, held it as support, and just hasn't looked back. Again, another one. This is another stock that put in a reverse head and shoulders. An actual really clean chart pattern. So where is it? Oh, it's on a smaller time frame. Right there. Look at that. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then you retested the neckline. Doesn't get any better than that, guys and girls. So that's insane. I just don't want nobody to look back and say, man, That's my bonus for the year. Like that. Look at that. You can find these. You just have to see the setups. All right. Bullish divergence. Look. You made a low. MACD made a low. And what happened? You put in 1, 2, 3 new lows, but the MACD was trading higher. The MACD never put in a new low. Probably same with the RSI, I bet. So that is bullish divergence in a nutshell. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. So like I said, Tesla, AMD, these are stocks that are on my list. I want to see if AMD just going to sit here and curl and then possibly, shake some shorts out and we get a little rally out of it. Not much. It could just sell the hell off. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that, what's his name was coming out talking about buying it, that fund manager. I forget, Dan Niles, I think it was. Dan Niles came out and said he was a buyer, and I think that was right here. That's when you got all this volume. Pretty sure that's when it was, right? No, right here. That might have been Dan Niles. So, oh, wait. No, it was definitely back here. So, yeah, it was like right around here. And here. Yeah, this was Dan Niles and crew. They said, yeah, we're not afraid to buy. So, all right, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I'm going to get better at these streams. Please, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts, tickers. Maybe let me know how I'm doing my streams. Maybe suggest something that I could do differently, okay? All right, you guys have a great night. I will see you guys in the morning. Like, share, subscribe, 7 a.m. I'll probably be on at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow. It's a little late now. You guys have a great night. Stay green, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the morning.